like the city staff, particularly, whether it's code, fire, all the coordination and project team. And I want to recognize Emily Baker as well for helping lead all that. So thank you for the city staff. Just fantastic job. We're going to hear from Gender Brule here a second, as the Director of Transit and Rail here in Virginia, but I also want to recognize Secretary Shep Miller is with us today. So, Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for being here. We have so many members of our Virginia General Assembly, Fairfax County, Fairfax City, Prince George's County, Arlington County. I've been here 10 months, but we have a lot of elected officials in this region. I'm just putting that out there. I think I met most, but still more to go. NVTA is here. Thank you for your partnership and contribution. I know Chair Randall is going to be here speaking in a second about that. NVTC, Kate and your team, thank you for everything and your partnership as well. Ray Jackson, our ATU 689 president, is with us today, every day working together. I hear David Mayer from WMSC is here somewhere. I haven't had a chance to say hi to him, but there he is. Thanks, David, from our partners at WMSC, part of why we're here today as well. And then I want to just thank the Metro team. So our Metro team, whether it's the Liz Field, Diana Levy, Fred Robertson, Neela Babu, the entire construction team, our revenue team working on ticket machines, people put blood, sweat, and tears into this thing like it's almost hard to believe. And like the chair, I do have to take, and he'll be embarrassed that I do this, but Andy Off is our Chief Infrastructure Officer, and Andy's commitment to this project, he didn't sleep last night. He was out here all night long, went home and showered, put a suit on, and came back. And he was out here, and Liz Fields, our SVP, in a vest, sweeping the floor yesterday. They'll do whatever it takes to deliver, and I'm just really proud of you and thankful. Great job, everyone. So with that fun to get us all going, let's turn it over to Mayor Wilson. So Mayor Wilson, this is a big day for you, and we're both kind of the Energizer bunnies, so I did enough so when you come up here. But just a great partner. He and I have talked a lot about this project. He's obviously in our industry as well, so he knows the challenges delivering. But the mayor was out here at 5 a.m. on the first train. I think he biked here too. Just thank you, Mayor. Congratulations to you and the city of Alexandria. Thank you for a great partnership.
Good morning, everyone. What a great day to be an Alexandrian. I am now the 6th Alexandria mayor who has stood up here and eagerly awaited the opportunity to say these words. Alexandria, your Potomac Yard station is open! I was so excited, I went through the turnstile 1,300 times this morning. I did pay every time, every single time. The entire Alexandria City Council is here. I want to recognize them. We have our Vice Mayor, Amy Jackson, Councilman John Taylor Chapman, Councilman Kenneth Aguirre, Councilwoman Aaliyah Gaskins, Councilmember Sarah Bagley, Councilman Kirk McPike. Our city manager, Jim Parajan, is here, right over here. His predecessor, perhaps the man more responsible for us being here than anybody else, former city manager Mark Jinks. My predecessor, you already heard, is here. Mayor Yule is here. We certainly note the absence of 2 of those 6 mayors I mentioned, Mayor Tyser and Mayor Donnelly. We are fortunate to have Mayor Donnelly's wife up here with us as well, Ava Donnelly. We know they both played such a pivotal role in the fact that we are here right now, and we're so happy that you're here, and I'm sure Carrie would have loved this event. Absolutely would have. All right. I want to welcome all of my colleagues, past and present, from the City Council who are here today. Bringing a new metro station to Potomac Yard required consistent support, focus, and drive for Team Alexandria for a long, long time. I want to welcome Senators Warner, Senator Kaine, Congressman Beyer, Chairman Smedberg. I guess you also had another position as well at some point, right? Okay. General Manager Clark, President Sands, Director DeBrule, Chair Randall. Each of you has played a role in seeing this project to fruition, and we are so very grateful for your help along the way. As I look around the room, this is kind of a bit of a reunion, maybe even like a wedding. Who's on the groom's side? Many of you have gone on to other jobs after working on this project. Some of you have retired after working on this project. Some of you have retired because of working on this project. When we gathered about 3.5 years ago for the groundbreaking, I spoke of the origin story of this project. It goes back quite a while. Some of you may not realize how far it goes back. In 1892, the Washington, Alexandria, and Mount Vernon Electric Railway began operating between Alexandria and Mount Vernon. That year, the railway announced a plan to connect that railway to D.C. This announcement led to an unprecedented land rush just to our west as developers worked to build communities that would be served by that new rail connection. You know, this led to the incorporation of the town of Potomac in 1908, which was later absorbed into the city of Alexandria in 1930. That electric railway ran down Commonwealth Avenue. The St. Elmo railway stop, which was right at Commonwealth and Ashby, you could be downtown in 20 minutes. Did you hear that, Randy? 20 minutes you could be downtown from that corner. In 1906, that railway was carrying 1.7 million passengers. But the arrival of the automobile and the founding of a few bus lines led to the end of the electric railway. In 1928, Senator Claude Swanson, who holds the seat that Senator Kaine now holds, sponsored legislation to create what became the George Washington Memorial Parkway, which was to connect to Mount Vernon. To bring that road to reality, the federal government bought and repurposed the right-of-way that electric railway was traveling on for $150,000. It should be noted that we paid a lot more than $150,000 to the National Park Service to use a very small sliver of land less than a century later. And even more than that, to create that impressive design that you see behind you to make sure that we were true to the scenic easement for that very parkway that was founded from the ashes of the George Washington Memorial Parkway. I'll let Senators Warner, Kaine, and Beyer, Congressman Beyer, talk about that later. So it was 131 years ago that the announcement of the arrival of the electric railway led to the creation of a town of 2,300 people with schools, a raceway, even an amusement park. The census tract we stand in right now has gone from a brownfield just about 2.5 decades ago to more than 3,700 people living here as of the last census, and we are just getting started. Whether it is the electric railway of 131 years ago, our Potomac River, or the yellow and blue line of 2023, mobility and connectivity have attracted people to our community, and we have thrived as a result. The thousands of people who make this area home are here because of this metro station. Virginia Tech, APTA, NIB, IDA, they are here because of this metro station. And it is the value of that sustainable growth that is financing the construction of this very station. Little more than 5 years ago, Virginia Tech was not anything we could have even imagined. And now it's a campus under construction just north of here. There is so much that is going to occur on this site that we have not yet begun to imagine. You know, we talk a lot in this business about the L word, legacy. For the past 3.5 years, this site has been the workplace for hundreds of tradespeople. They have come to work every day under some of the worst conditions, a pandemic, rain, snow, all kinds of things. They have worked long hours. They have put decades of training to the test. But today, their legacy begins. Those that have toiled away at designing, procuring, financing, planning, your legacy begins today as well. Our city staff in every single agency in the city government, you share in this legacy today as well. The partners who helped us finance this project, this is your legacy as well. The countless Alexandrians who believed in this project when almost nobody else did. This is your legacy. This is your station. This station is going to change lives forever, and we made it happen together. Congratulations, everyone. Well done.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, that's a lot of energy at the start there, right? So you said 20 minutes to downtown, right? Just so you know, from here to La Font Plaza is 14 minutes on the yellow line. Just saying, as they would say. So thank you, Mayor. Next up, we have Senator Warner. Senator Warner has obviously been not only just a champion for Virginia, our country, incredible leadership in Congress, but he's also been a really thoughtful leader about Metro issues. I've had the privilege now interacting with the senator for about 10 months I've been here, and I just really appreciate his genuine care and interest in Metro. Thank you for being with us here today, Senator.
Good morning. Justin, what in the hell did you take this morning?
It was okay.
I've seen those 5-hour energy things. Did you chug 3 or 4 of them at 5 o'clock this morning? Wow, you are excited. It is great to be here. Thank you, Randy. Everybody's going to tell their story about this station. In 1991, I was a brand new member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board. And about that time, a former governor was talking about the fact that we're going to have a metro station here for a then planned football stadium. Fast forward a decade, 2001, I got hired as governor, came here to this site and talking about the soon to open Potomac Yard Metro station. 22 years later, and I think we've all given shout-outs, but I think it would be really significant, particularly for the press, and I'm going to focus on the city staff, the Metro staff, current and former elected officials, so former governor, particularly legislators. If you all could stand up, so everybody who's been involved in an official capacity in getting this station open, please stand up. Come on, city council, legislators, current and former. Shep, stand up as well. You know, I want to use that line, it takes a village, but this may it takes a city to get this done. And as a proud Alexandrian, I got to tell you, this is great news, not just for the city, not just for Northern Virginia, not just for the Commonwealth, but the whole DMV. You know, this station, the 98th station that's part of the Metro network, that's very incredible. Tim Kaine made the mistake of telling me how many new stations have been opened in the recent time. I'm not going to steal his line. He comes after me. But you're going to be pretty frickin' impressed. This station, just kind of on the top line, going to create 13,000 new residents, 26,000 new jobs. And to my dear friends from Maryland, some of those 13,000 new residents are going to be FBI agents going to the new FBI headquarters in Springfield, Virginia. A little applause on that line. Climb on this station, get to Springfield in about 11 minutes at most, walk right out into that big new 13,000 employee headquarters, linkage to Quantico, to all of the rest of the intelligence community operations all across Northern Virginia. It's going to be a great thing. How am I doing, Justin? And, already been mentioned, want to really commend Virginia Tech and the Innovation Campus. I do say, I'm proud to be, Lance is here, who is the dean, Tim Sands is here, who is Virginia Tech president. I do have a certain affinity for Virginia Tech. I'm going to make sure the Hokie Bird remembers who was the governor that got the Hokies into the ACC. And we all have a responsibility in these jobs. As politicians, we have to wear the uniform sometimes of tie and jacket. Tim sometimes misses that message on Fridays, on casual Fridays. But we all have to kind of show our colors. But I got to acknowledge one thing. I know it's part of the colors, but that's one ugly jacket, Tim. I've stayed with President Sands down in Blacksburg. He has a whole closet of Virginia Tech colored outfits. And, nobody, that goes above and beyond your commitment to your Hokies. This is a great celebration. I want to again thank Randy. The fact that we have gotten all these more trains back on, the fact that these numbers are going up, the great announcement that Tim's going to make in terms of the number of new stations that have been opened. I do want to thank Metro. I want to thank the Safety Commission because part of their job is to make sure that these stations are open. I want to thank our local partners. I want to thank our Commonwealth partners. I want to thank our federal partners. And I do think, Randy said, Infrastructure Week. Well, there was a while when a few years back an administration would claim Infrastructure Week or month about every week or month, and nothing got done. I am very proud to be part of the group, including with Tim and with Don, where in a bipartisan way, the federal government finally has stepped up and said, we're going to make the kind of infrastructure investments that are long overdue. In that infrastructure bill, $88 billion for Metro, for transit stations around the country, hundreds of billions of dollars for road and rail, $50 billion for water systems. You go down the list of the kind of investments we need and must make. And it is a little crazy at this point that we've made those investments, are seeing this kind of build out. And then there's some folks who are up where we work who say, we want to claim all that credit, but then when the bills come due, not pay those bills. I don't want to go off into that kind of screech, but, the United States of America does not renege on its debt, and we're not going to have that happen. Not under our watch. So to all of you who made this possible, to the great news that Tim's going to announce, to figuring out whatever Justin is taking, and to make sure that all of our legislators in particular, and maybe Tim and Don and I need to take it as well, considering the days we've had. Thank you. Great day for Alexandria. Great day for Northern Virginia. Great day for the Commonwealth. Great day for the DMV. And a great new station on its way to the FBI headquarters in Springfield. Thanks, everybody.
Well, thank you, Senator. President, I like the jacket. I'm just saying. I think you look good. So I will say those are the fastest trains I think I've ever heard of. If the FBI is in Springfield in 11 minutes, we'll need all the infrastructure money for trains that fast. But I appreciate the transit connectivity. Next up, we have Senator Kaine. Just like Senator Warner, just so dedicated to our country, to the Commonwealth, to the region. Obviously, he's had a lot of history with both his roles on the state side and the federal side, but just a major supporter of Metro. The part with Senator Kaine and I asked him, I said, so some of you were at the Silver Line opening. So Senator Kaine got up and said that he had this amazing dream the night before we opened the Silver Line, and it involved a train. I was a little concerned because it involved a train, and then it took off into the sky. And I was really concerned what was going to happen with that train, because that's, you can't have a derailment in the air, I don't think. But the senator was telling that. So I said to him, what dreams did you have last night? And he said he got a new mattress and slept like a baby. So we'll take that as a good sign for today as well. But Senator Kaine, come on up. Thank you very much.
Hey, good morning, all. What a wonderful occasion with so many friends. It is the case. I had a very bizarre dream the night before the opening of Silver Line at Dulles that I described, but I've been sleeping on a crummy mattress in D.C. for 10 years. I'm a Richmonder, so this is just my part-time place. I got a new mattress yesterday. I had the best night's sleep I've had. I did not have a single dream, so I can't do that for my speech today. That opening plus this opening means in 6 months, Metro has opened 7 brand new stations in Northern Virginia. Pretty amazing. Just within 6 months. And I don't know this, somebody can check it, but that might be the biggest blitz of opening new stations since the Metro began. And to have 7 in Northern Virginia, because as you remember, Northern Virginia, initially, a lot of the Northern Virginia localities, driven by some really unfortunate politics, even racial politics, decided they didn't want Metro stations. And so to open 7 new Metro stations in Northern Virginia in 6 months is a wonderful thing. So I'm going to tell a story about my life before I was in politics. I'm the Richmond guy on the stage. Thanks for including a Richmonder. I ran my first race for Richmond City Council in 1994. I think this is a story that even my friend of 43 years, Mark Warner, does not know. 7 years before I ran my first race to be on the Richmond City Council, I was practicing law in Richmond, and the city of Alexandria and the county of Arlington hired my law firm to sue the Commonwealth of Virginia and the RF&P Railroad, which used to own this rail line. And the suit involved a single question. What is the Potomac Yard worth? What is the Potomac Yard? At the time, the Potomac Yard was a switching yard for the RF&P Railroad. All property is assessed, real property, with property taxes paid to local governments. But in Virginia, the assessment of railroad property was not done by the cities and counties. It was done by, at that point, the tax department of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And beginning in 1984, the tax department started to say, well, wait a minute, the RF&P Railroad is worth something based on its income. Railroads weren't too successful back then. So that must mean that the Potomac Yard, just a part of the railroad, has to be just a tiny fraction of what the railroad is worth. And so then when the state reported that to Arlington and Alexandria and said, here's the assessed value that you can collect taxes on, the city and county went nuts and said, hold on a second. The Potomac Yard, hundreds of acres in the middle of the most commercially vibrant part of Virginia, is worth just cents on a dollar. You got to be kidding us. And so they hired us, my partner and I, to sue the state and sue the railroad. I tramped all over this Potomac Yard when it was a switching station. I'd ride Amtrak up to the Old Town stop in Alexandria. I'd come over here. I'd tramp around, do depositions in the old rail office. I'd never forget the guy who ran the yard was a crafty old railroad engineer named Jack McGinley, taking his deposition a couple of times. In the course of the case, the railroad was saying, look, we're a rail yard and there's been chemicals out here. It's a brownfield site. It's never going to be worth anything. It's just a rail yard, for gosh sake. In the course of the case, we found documents that the railroad had about, once we develop this with houses and commercial operations and a metro stop, the sky's the limit in terms of what this will be worth. And we were able to introduce those documents at the trial, and by the end of the process, the Virginia Supreme Court in a ruling in 1990 said the Potomac Yard isn't worth just tiny fractions to Arlington and Alexandria because of its value. It is worth a tremendous amount, and the county was then able to go back and collect a whole lot of back taxes that they were due because of this. Well, in the years since, as I've gotten into first state office and now national office, I'm here a lot from Richmond. And driving by the Potomac Yard as houses have been built and bike paths have been constructed and green space has been protected and businesses have thrived, I have watched come to life what I found one day in a surprising set of documents I got. It looks almost exactly like the documents that I was looking at in 1988 and 89, except for one thing. Those documents had a working metro station in the middle of Potomac Yard in 1988 and 89. They had a working metro station in those plans. And not until today, like the cherry on top of the sundae, not until today has this plan come to fruition. Public transit, biking, residences, businesses, green space. What is the Potomac Yard worth? It's priceless. It's priceless.
Now that's a great story, Senator. That's like Jeopardy kind of stuff. That is really cool. Hope we all can enjoy being in public service and seeing how things all come together. Next up is Congressman Beyer. Congressman, this is your district. So just like the mayor, just like the council, thank you for having us in your home today, and thank you for all your support of Metro.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. I just want to add my congratulations to everyone here who's worked so hard to make this happen. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I also thought, normally at the Star-Spangled Banner, we get to the very peak, the Army or the Navy, the Air Force will fly the jets over. Here we had a freight train come by. I told my 28-year-old last night, born in Alexandria Hospital 28 years ago, I said I was coming to cut the ribbon on the new metro station in Potomac Yards this morning. She said, "You're not." She didn't believe me. I had to get her to show it to her. This station is living proof of the value of hope and persistence and relentlessness and courage and grit, and the importance of elections. And elections really do matter. After decades of living with the train wreck of delayed expectations, we finally get to ride the gravy train of this new station. But I'm not happy with the new name, I have to confess. So I turned to art and literature for perhaps a better name. And Duke Ellington's Take the A Train, or the Monkees' The Last Train to Clarksville, or the Midnight Train to Georgia, or the Love Train, or the Peace Train, or maybe even Arlo Guthrie's, the train they called the City of New Orleans. I tried to do the City of Potomac Yards. That didn't work. But then I actually looked north to the other enormously important century-long investment in this piece of land, Virginia Tech's Innovation Campus, which will be the MIT, the Caltech, the Carnegie Mellon of the 21st century. And I thought, with all respect, with all due respect to the new Potomac Yard Station, I'm calling it the Hokie Landing Station forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Congressman, and appreciate a couple good dad jokes injected in there as well. Those were pretty good. Next up, we have someone that I just want to say it's just been such a fantastic partner for me in this role for the last 10 months, and Director of Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation, Jen DeBrule, and she is here on behalf of the Commonwealth, including, as I mentioned, Secretary Miller. So, Jen, come on up. Just thank you for everything you do every day.
Good morning. On behalf of Governor Youngkin, Secretary Miller, and the entire Virginia transportation team, I am thrilled to be here today. We have gotten to the point in the agenda where every talking point on my notes has been taken by somebody else because they've talked about history and they've talked about economic development and they've talked about what this means for Alexandria. So I'm going to give you something different. This is where my team, who are sitting over here, and I've got another one over here, are petrified about what I'm about to say, including my boss. But what I want to talk about is the importance of integrated multimodal transportation. I was here on a very cold day back in 2019 when we broke ground on the Potomac Yard Metro rail station. And what nobody knew when we broke ground on the Metro rail station that morning was we had another really exciting announcement that afternoon, and that was we were announcing transforming rail in Virginia and a plan to build a parallel long bridge and bring more rail service to the Commonwealth. And so it is a really big day for me to look back at Potomac Yard and look ahead and see where we're going with rail, to sit here and hear a freight train and hear our Amtrak trains go by while this important event goes on today. The Commonwealth is dedicated to integrated multimodal transportation. We have great partnerships with the City of Alexandria and Metro. And I can tell you personally, it's no more important than it is today. Like Senator Kaine, I live in Richmond. And I left home this morning and found out that I-95 was closed. Well, good for me. I already had a plan because I wasn't planning to drive here. I was planning to drive to Fredericksburg and get on VRE. And that worked out fantastic because that took me to my office in Alexandria. We're proud Alexandria folks here at DRPT as well. We got on the Metro, and we were one of those first 1,300 people to come into the Potomac Yard Metro rail station. So we're here because we believe in what this does to build communities and connect the Commonwealth and provide opportunities and access to jobs, education, and health care in order to make Virginia the best place to live, work, and raise a family, which is what we want to do here. And so I am thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to be part of a small part of what helped make this possible. I'm incredibly proud of my team and the work that they do to help move Virginia. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I can't wait to cut a ribbon. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you for being a customer this morning. And are we all excited? We got all these different kind of trains running in. FRA and Union Station announced their big development this week, so we can have VRE, MARC trains from Maryland connected to Metro. Union Station is equivalent to like DCA and Dulles, and really connect this region to the whole country. So great work. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Secretary Miller. Next up is our partners at the Virginia Transportation Authority. And we have Chair Phyllis Randall, who is also the Loudon Chair with us today. And the part I want to really mention, I appreciate Monica being here today and a lot of the team, is the contribution of NVTA to this station, which represented $70 million. And without that contribution, we will not be here today. So thank you for all the partnership. And Chair Randall, if you'd like to come up.
Well, good morning. So I am Phyllis Randall. I'm Chair at Large of Loudoun County and Chair of the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. And I came this morning because I don't want to hear Justin talk about the Potomac Yard Station anymore during our meeting. So we're going to get that done today, Justin. So listen, first I do want to thank Monica Backman, who was CEO of Northern Virginia Transportation Authority. Give her a hand. NVTA has put $70 million on this project, and that is important because what that will do will actually reduce the number of daily trips by about 6,000 trips a day. Why is that important? Because we talk all the time about the importance of multimodal transportation options and the environment. NVTA doesn't just fund roads, we fund bike trails, we fund transit. We do all of it in NVTA, and it's really important. The truth is we have some core values in NVTA. They are equitable streets, safe transit, sustainable transit. We do all that, and that $70 million goes toward this effort. But I want to tell you something else that we know both in Loudoun County and in NVTA. We're all here today. We're happy. We're excited. We're going to cut a ribbon. But the truth is, for all of the things that are happening today, this is why we're really here. We are really here because this project will improve the quality of life for tens of thousands of people. There is a man that will get home faster from his job today because this station is opening. There is a woman that will get to her son's baseball game in time because this station is opening. There's a grandmother that will get to her granddaughter's school play to watch her be a tulip because this station is opening. There are people all over the region who will benefit from this station opening. What we do as elected officials, what we do as county staff, is work for the quality of life for individuals. It's why Shep Miller came out of retirement to be the Secretary of Transportation. It is why Barbara Favola and Alfonso Lopez is here up today. It's why George Barker is here up today. It's why we all do what we're doing right now. It's because we believe that the quality of life of people matters. And we know that transit benefits them in their quality of life. There's also something we always do in Loudoun County when we speak on these issues. I never, ever sit down without saying that elected officials, county staff, we get to break grounds and we get to cut ribbons. But we know in between the groundbreaking and the ribbon cutting are thousands of people who've been here doing the building. They were here in the cold weather. They were here in the rain. They were here in the heat. They're represented today by Ray Jackson, ATU 689. Give them all a hand. We do not believe that after the breaking of the ground and the cutting of the ribbon, this just happens automatically and magically. We know people put backs to work to make this happen today. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to Monica. Thank you to the NVTA. And let's cut a ribbon.
Thank you, Chair Randall. And, of course, as you were wrapping that up, Amtrak train going by with an airplane. I mean, this view is just incredible. So thank you for your great remarks and recognizing our staff here at Metro. I really appreciate that. Next up, and by the way, President said, I noticed the socks, too. It's the whole deal. So I like that. I got to get some Metro socks. But we are so excited for you to be our neighbor here. We look forward to serving, I think you told me, 1,500 students, faculty, and staff. Going to be just an incredible investment in this community. So I know we can't get the Hokie Bird up here. So Senator Sands, why don't you come over and give us some remarks about Virginia Tech? Oh, look, we got the Hokie Bird up.
Well, good morning, everyone. Yes, it is still morning. We are so excited to be here. Orange and maroon are an acquired taste. I understand that, but get used to it because we are just up the road. Matter of fact, we would not be here if it were not for this station. Is that right, Hokie Bird? Thank you. Yes. But we are really thrilled. My wife Laura and I moved to Virginia Tech 9 years ago. When we looked for a family home, we decided on Alexandria, North Old Town. And was that a good investment? Wow, we did not expect that. But we love the community, the integration of the arts, technology, the proximity to D.C., to the tech capital of the world right here. It is just an exciting place to be, and this will make it even more exciting. 5 years ago, when the Virginia Tech campus, Innovation Campus, was announced, we were looking for a site, and just the idea of being right next to a metro station, having all these communities connected. We have 60,000 Hokies who are within a couple of metro stops of this site. And so thank you, Congressman Beyer, for coining, on the very day we announced the Innovation Campus, coining the term Hokie Landing. Hokie Landing's just up the street. Thank you. We'd also like to thank the City of Alexandria, all of our partners. You've heard everybody introduced, but wow, this wouldn't be possible without you for 100 years of history there. I know we're latecomers to this, 5 years in, but it is just so important to us to see all of this activity with all the community coming together. For our representatives, Senator Kaine and Warner, Congressman Beyer, all the state representatives, everybody involved with MATA and Metro, just an amazing partnership, and we are thrilled to be part of it. As you just heard, we have about 1,500 students, faculty, and staff that will be here in full build-out over the next several years. We'll have research programs up and running. We already have them started. They will connect the technology world to this region. We are looking forward to the partnership that we have planned with Potomac Yard and the city of Alexandria, JPG Smith, and all of the industry partners in making this a model for smart mobility, bringing in our Virginia Tech Transportation Institute and our expertise to really take this to the next level. So thank you very much for all being here. I'm standing between you and a ribbon. So go Hokies, and congratulations, everyone.
Thank you very much, President Sands. And, of course, thank you, Hokie Bird. There you go. Okay. So as President Sands says, we are getting close to cutting a ribbon, so let's not delay that any further. In closing, though, I do want to take a second and, again, recognize the Metro and City project teams, event teams. How about this event? Huh? Communications teams, government relations teams. It's all about people working together. I think, between the senators, congressmen, the mayors, everyone else's comments, all of the good things that happen ultimately involve people working together, collaborating. Even if it takes a long time sometimes, it's worth the result if we all just work together. So thank you all for that. Now what we're going to do is, if I could get, before I get interested, we're going to go out and cut a ribbon. First, we're going to have the colors get retired. Then we're going to go out and cut the ribbon. As we do that, I'm going to ask everyone to stay, just give a couple minutes. Everyone on stage is going to go up first. Then everyone can go out the other exit. And it's going to be about 5 minutes from the end of the ceremony to when we cut the ribbon, just logistics to move around here. Then anyone that's interested, we're going to have a train come in, pick anyone that's interested up. It'll be our kind of celebration train. We're going to go up to King Street Station. At that point, you can get off the train. Everyone actually is getting off the train. You can that one's going out of service. And from there, you can either get off and enjoy King Street and that part of the city, or you can get back on the service and go anywhere you want. So, again, thank you so much for being here, everyone, today. So if you could all rise as we retire the colors.
Ready, step. Ready. Arms. Free, set, arms. Order, arms. Ready, cut. Right face, march.
Okay, so with that, who wants to go cut a ribbon and celebrate this beautiful station? Thank you all for being here today. All right,
We would ask that all guests please remain in their seats until the ribbon cutters and media are able to make their way over for the ribbon cutting. Again, please remain in your seat for about 5 minutes until the staff directs you over to the ribbon cutting. Thank you.
I wanted my hepatitis C gone.
I put off treating mine.
Epclusa treats all main types of chronic hep C. Whatever your type, Epclusa could be your kind of cure.
I just found out about mine.
I knew for years.
Epclusa has a 98% overall cure rate.
I had no symptoms of hepatitis C.
Mine caused liver damage.
Epclusa is only one pill, once a day, taken with or without food for 12 weeks. Before starting Epclusa, your doctor will test if you have had hepatitis B, which may flare up and could cause serious liver problems during and after treatment. Tell your doctor if you have had hepatitis B, other liver or kidney problems, HIV or other medical conditions, and all medicines you take, including herbal supplements. Taking amiodarone with Epclusa may cause a serious slowing of your heart rate. Common side effects include headache and tiredness. Ask your doctor today if Epclusa is your kind of cure.